Jim, let's talk about where we are with the overall acquisition of the libraries that WWE is starting to amass 20 years ago. They've
Uh-huh.
already got the old WWF tapes. They've got the old WWF tapes. We know they've got the WCW/Jim Crockett promotion tapes. We know they've got the ECW tapes and the SMW tapes, and now they've got the AWA footage. And this is enough that they're going to start doing a subscription service called WWE 24/7. Now that's going to start on March 24th, 2004. They're going to push out 20 hours of content every month from the old shows, and it's a pay service. You're going to pay something like $9 or $10 a month, something like that. And it's going to be split with a pay-per-view distributor. So this is before there's an OTT app like on your Apple TV or something like that. You had to be with Comcast or whatever. I had this and I liked it. What'd you think of WWE 24/7?
Love the idea. Thought it was a great way to build for the future. I thought it was going to fill a void. Fans will want more content, and to a lot of fans, in the 18 to 34 demo, they were seeing some of these historic matches and talents for the first time. They heard about them, they read about them, et cetera, but here they got to see matches, and there's the true judge of how well the product was accepted. Love the concept. I thought it was a great way to build for the future using assets that only WWF, WWE at the time, whatever, you know, what they had to offer, because they could offer something nobody else could replicate.
I wanted to ask you about the Legends of Wrestling roundtables. Those
Yeah.
were some of my favorite pieces of content that came out on 24/7. You and Mean Gene both had some hosting duties. What'd you think of those? Did you enjoy those? I wish we got more of those.
Yeah, I had fun doing them. Good. That's a hell of a panel. There's Taz is on there, and Michael Hayes always had something to say. Mick Foley, Pat Patterson, great panels. I just kind of steered the ship a little bit and kept the rudder in the water. There's Mike Graham and Dusty on there as well. I'm like you, Connie. I would like to see that happen. I'd like to see more of those when I was doing them, especially because they were just fun to do. It was lighthearted. It was not overproduced. We didn't have a script. We had whoever it was a JR or Tony or Gene or whomever. It was just a fun show, and we weren't overproduced. That's what made it so much fun. We could all be creative in our own way, and that worked out real well for me. I enjoyed that. I just think you just do better work when you can think and develop as you go along, because things change, and what somebody says might spark another idea or another concept or what have you. So it's all good. I was a big fan of it, quite frankly.
I'm a big fan of Ron Simmons, and it comes out that he has been released from WWE at this time. I mean, way back when he came in as Farouk with that silly blue gimmick in 1996. 8 years later, he's going to wrap it up, but not after having some incredible moments with his buddy Bradshaw. It's interesting to see the trajectory that APA is on here. Bradshaw's going to become a big badass single star heel, and Ron Simmons gets his walking papers. I know how much you love Ron. That couldn't have been an easy conversation to have.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's the tough part about the job. You get the exhilaration of being able to hire somebody and help facilitate their dreams, while at the same time knowing that at some place, maybe sooner than later. In this case, it was too soon for me to have that chat where you have to let somebody go, and sometimes there's not great reasons for it. It's hard to say to somebody, the reason we're letting you go is because Vince is tired of seeing you. And quite frankly, that may sound, shitty, but you'd be surprised of how accurate that statement really is.
We got to talk about the build up for Backlash. This is one of my more favorite moments in WWE history, and really it's because of the Cactus Jack Randy Orton storyline. I was a huge Cactus Jack fan, still am, of course. I've grown into becoming a big Randy Orton fan, but back then I was looking forward to Cactus Jack, carving him up. I think that's why this storyline was working so well. I mean, he was the brash, cocky, arrogant heel. He played that role to a T. And Foley is like the most beloved guy in wrestling. And I know he wasn't supposed to be here. I mean, he was supposed to have been retired by now, but he's still having fun. And this just was new life for Cactus Jack and Randy Orton. What'd you think of that presentation? Could you see that Randy Orton was on his way to being world champ before the end of the year?
I thought it was an opportunity for Randy to stand out, to be noticed. It's all in front of him. And at the end of the day, when that match is over, Randy was successful. Great match, overexceeded many people's estimations of what it might be or what it was going to be. I really was a fan of that match. That's the match that. I mean, there are a lot of good matches on this card. It's pretty good. It's pretty damn good pay per view. But they closed the show the right way. Did WWE with Foley and Orton. Orton got the chance to shine, and shine he did.
No doubt about it. John Hennigan is going to become Johnny Nitro. He's going to be doing a kiss ass gimmick for Eric Bischoff, which is kind of fun, but I like that he just embraces the Johnny thing. I mean, he's still doing it to this day. There's a lot of heat coming out of WrestleMania with the Jericho Trish Christian love triangle that blows up at WrestleMania. Trish was just fantastic here. And the company is going on tour as they always do, doing a little international show here on April 3rd. They've got 10,850 fans. They're going to report that it was 16,000, but they're at the arena there in Monterey for 443,000. Ringside seats were high for Mexico at the time. It set an all-time gate record for the country at 443,000. The previous $400,000 gate was Conan in a loser must retire match at Mexico City, like more than a decade prior. So even if it does feel like the company's in a bit of transition here, we're trying to find some new talent and reload ourselves. Anytime you go out internationally, you're setting records. That's a good thing.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
That's a journey you want to be on. Yeah, we're just rebuilding. You know, all those names that you mentioned earlier, Connie, and today's show were not available anymore, or at least any more many now. Austins and Goldbergs and et cetera, et cetera. All those guys that were hurt or banged up or disillusioned or whatever it may be. But I don't know. The international business is such a key element in pro wrestling. That's why when somebody asked earlier, do I think that AEW will do more than just the UK on an international side? And my answer emphatically is yes. I just don't know when. It's inevitable. It's going to happen because you follow the money, and there's money in them dar hills. There's money outside the USA, and so why not go get you some of it?